Attention gamers, today we are going to talk about Ninja, the man who became a household name when Roblox added guns to the game as he proved to have a God-given talent for slaughtering 7-year-olds who are just learning to use a computer for the first time. That said, I actually used to watch his streams all the time before his hair had sex with the entire cast of Teletubbies, and love him or hate him, he's done more for the video game industry than any other human on the planet. He's like the Elon Musk of rage, yelping at his computer and inspiring others to do likewise, giving millions of kids the courage to tell mommy and daddy that playing video games can actually be a viable career as long as you work hard, and trademark your own dance move. But that's enough praise for you, Tyler. Your pork sword gets a little salty after holding it in my pie hole for too long. I'm here to talk about what you've been up to lately. You see, I guess when someone like Ninja lets his wife manage the business side of the brand and she just crushes it to the point where you see his freaking headbands being sold in Walmarts, he reaches a point where he can do and play whatever he wants, and while others may choose one of the dozens of fun popular games, he chose to play this cancerous piss pit that we are all shamefully addicted to, and like everyone else who plays League, you can probably guess how it's going for him.
Dude, I'm just gonna quit. How do I quit out of this game?
So after catching him one night dealing with a classic case of the famous Rift tilt that we all experience, I couldn't think of any better way to welcome him to this wonderful community and give him a taste of what is to come by having every little mistake he made from an unfortunate game picked apart and criticized in an egotistical douchey way by a player who is hard stuck at a rank way lower than him. And with that, I just want to say, Ninja, welcome to League of Legends. And speaking of League players just loving to give unsolicited opinions, I went out and found a way for you to get paid to do just that. You see, it's 2021 now, which means a few things like eating avocado toast physically makes you cooler and more attractive as long as you post pics of it, and data/information is power. So much so that companies are actually paying to get said information, which is where today's sponsor Opinion Outpost comes in. The way this works is so simple. Ninja's target audience could do it. You just sign up, take part in surveys where you give opinions on new products or ads, things people do for free every day, and then bam, you just earned yourself points that can be redeemed for all kinds of gift cards or even cold hard cash. You can even do it on your phone, which means you can brag at dinner parties about making side hustle cash while launching butt shuttles every day. All you have to do is click my link at the top of the description to get started making your share of the $390k dollar bills they pay out every month, and for that, we thank them. Okay, I can empathize with Papa Smurf here at the beginning of the game because he knows that being present for the hoodlum homicides early is his one job, but his support was apparently given like 16 cocaine enemas in loading screen or something, pulling his ass into loser land as well. And when you are the ADC, you end up getting punished for participating in such dog water antics, and I think we can all relate to having to deal with babysitting a support who is just insistent on dying at some point until they have been baited into being one bard's fart from death, and irritated that a flash shift shitter bursty boy out of the twinkle shit is enough to make you a first blood victim. And then back to bot to hopefully hit a freeze and farm combo, but we can't forget that his support has marinated her brain cells in straight sugar all day, so she goes hyphy hoppy, I'm so sloppy, past the hooded midget. So Ninja plays connect the dots to draw a bad decision as Brand holds his stun for marriage and then proves why more CC equals more GG as a desperate flash to secure some cash comes up short, and you start to hear the 0 and 2 tilt just a bit in his voice.
Can I get like a, hey, I'm going in, or, anything other than just walking up and fucking like just jumping in? I'm like not ready for it. I'm sitting here with a frozen wave, ready to just vibe.
But I can't blame him. If that was my support, I would have already had a full video edited and released publicly shaming her mere existence at this point. And besides, things start to look up when their weaponized praying mantis pays a visit bot to see why Rift Alexa has been blabbering on about Ninja all game, and thankfully a blonde e-boy and a tiki hut fire fetish burn victim are no match for the fact that 3 is greater than 2 and the tides start to turn. Psych. You see, good League players would know that wiping their bot lane presents the perfect opportunity to secure river objectives like Scuttle Crab or even Dragon, but great League players would know that this is solo queue and trusting your teammates to not have a room temperature IQ is a mistake, so he discovers the hard way the consequences of being in the right place in the wrong game, because in League you have junglers who would rather dust their own dick lint off at golems than play correctly.
I'm pinging the fucking crab, which is better for him and drags up, and like we have numbers for a little bit. We know the Kane's in the fucking river and he's close. We're all there as a team, dude. Everyone's hanging out. We're having a good fucking time. What does he decide to do? He's gonna do his little Krugs, man. He's gonna go do Krugs.
And a minute later he's like, hey, did you hear something in that bush? And the elephant riding Iron Tights Tits McGee is like, nah bro, what's the worst that can happen? And turns out having a cosmic wheat farmer half chub primed ready to reaper whack and smack some ninja ass is definitely on the list of things that can happen when you engage more blindly than a kid with cataracts popping the question.
Bro, please ward before doing that, if we're gonna do that. Like here or here,
like here or here,
Then I believe there's a famous quote that goes something like, how do you get where you want to go if you don't know where you currently are? And where Ninja currently was getting intercepted worse than a Matt Stafford pass, subleasing his anus to a fed jungler who pops out and says boo bitch, go back to base. And the circumstances in this game as an ADC up until this point are just like a metaphorical welcome mat to fuck-upsville, which looks oh so inviting, but for every one-shot twinkle shit lurking in the wild, there's a burning butt buddy ready to turn your greedy ass into a burnt pizza. And it may seem like he's at his lowest here, but he's dealt with worse.
Just move! If you got no one, just move. It's all I want to see, some movement. I'm not seeing enough movement.
That said, despite Ninja doing some humanitarian work down south, making sure everyone in the area is fed and happy, it's worth noting that a silver lining was birthing itself out of the carry me cooter, and the spin to win shitter was either hard smurfing from challenger elo or just someone capable of jamming his forehead against his keyboard. It really is hard to tell with Garen players. But long story short, this grape-stained polar bear who had a bad experience with a Halo 2 needler was getting more beat up than a raw cucumber in an all-female prison, resulting in a top lane push all the way to base by 10 minutes. And thank God for that, because the pile of cotton candy controlling Samira felt it necessary to demonstrate how his W can be used to AoE minions, and that he will be open to accepting stuns and playing hot potato with Brand's ult right after when he gets a notification that says tap E to donate LP, and so he does it with glee. Then cavalry arrives in the form of a 6-year-old girl and her emasculating armored teddy bear, so Ninja says, I call your stuffed animal and raise you a boosted one, as he puts himself in a worse position than a ketchup stain in a Tide commercial. So yeah, he gets cleaned up and then deems bot a lost cause and heads mid. The only problem is that his armored elephant rider, who has a sucralose shoot up her shithole, came mid as well, and call this man Mia Khalifa, because boy does he have a fetish for being outnumbered and getting fucked, resulting in a situation where Ninja could either run away and lose tower or contest it, waste flash, get CC'd, tied up, cucked and lose tower, so he chose the latter. And regarding his support, we all were thinking this, he just said it.
You are actually hard trolling this game right now, bro.
But not to fear, the twirling titan is here, and he's like, I didn't hang these bed curtains from my broad broken bullshit busted shoulders to not hit my spin button and run at them, taking no damage whatsoever as he shuts down the snowballing smolder tits. So the classic saga of being 2 levels down with 1 completed item at 20 minutes and taxed by a jungler who can't even hit abilities on stationary NPCs continues, as he then follows the cosmic dragonfly into the abyss, where he oh so heroically blocks a brand ult to save the dumb bug.
I blocked his ult.
Which was impressive, but not as impressive as staying alive long enough to give every single person on their team a kill participation paycheck right after. And he may have been like a walking ATM, but this Garen was still pawning straight to the bank as he first spins all over that wimpy wall hacking simp, and then he unites with boosted Betty to show her what it feels like to be a part of a successful homicide. This is then followed by a very highly engaging series of gameplay consisting of this abomination of 200 years repetitively sword dunking and spinning on these helpless little shitters, while simultaneously declining to take damage from any dumb bystanders trying to chime in. And this battle extended for many minutes, people coming back from the grave just to get shit pissed on again, teams dying, objectives being taken, little children being traded as currency, spouses at home having affairs while these soldiers fought tooth and nail to the death. And you probably want to know what Ninja was up to at this time.
Dude, chat, how many fucking times have I missed that last fucking minion, dude?
But eventually the dude trying to hard carry he who was on the damn Ellen show for being good at video games goes down, and there's no better time to run into a fight than 5 seconds after it ended. So feeding Francine here runs in, then requests a quick tap on the ass from the twinkle shit to put him in the mood to do something he will probably regret later. So back to top, and eventually this staggeringly intimidating split pushing force had to be stopped by none other than their team's designated moron. The guy who has 8 Ys in his name to symbolize how many times his mom asks herself why she didn't just use a condom. And the fight is going well until the reality of being pushed 3 rifts up without any vision or any other pressure on the map sets in, so a quick flash away from safety takes place to help round up the troops so they can collect their KP as an appetizer to the LP he is trying to give them later. But give him a break, split pushing as an inting underleveled ADC is something that isn't taught. Live and learn is the saying after all. Except he was having a hard time remembering the second part of that saying, well, and the first for that matter as well. And him dying gave his support that little bit of confidence she needed to go pick a team fight mid, failing to understand the rudimentary concept that 5 is greater than 4. So despite the spin to win shitter playing his own modded version of League of Legends where he gave himself infinite defenses and damage, the rest of the team unsurprisingly died, leaving him no choice but to flee. But you know who wasn't fleeing? Damn right, it was Ninja, the face of professional video gaming. Absolutely not, and he was like Rift Nemo in his famous quest to touch the butt. The butt being that top tower, and the plot taking a slightly darker twist because it consisted of Nemo dying 14 fucking times. That said, their mid laner was working on a new routine with her blazing bear called the Wombo Combo, and long story short, it led to Manny Mosquito getting his resets, Garen dunking as for the duets, and a grand finale pissy plant alley-oop to finish off the sweats. And I believe the unsung hero of that entire series of events can be explained by this.
Guys, you know what that's called? It's called the butterfly effect, okay? Me doing what I've been doing this entire game, going top, and going top right there. It started a chain of events. That Galio teleported mid because why? Because 2 people had to teleport and come back top to stop me. Which means he had to teleport back to mid to try to get drag presence, right? And to stop Garen. Well, guess what that did? That started that chain of events for everyone doing that dumb shit that eventually inevitably led them to that spot in River where Annie got her 4-man ult. You're fucking welcome, dude.
And I'm over here bag of potato chips in hand editing this video while tabbed out from a game that I tried the same damn butterfly effect and it just resulted in my entire team flaming me. So I guess we all just need to focus more on the behaviors being displayed to understand how a pro pawn gamer executes said butterfly effect. And if you are taking notes, it looks like roaming around during team fights aimlessly trying to locate your brain cells is a promising start and then flashing into danger because you can't hit a proper feed without some greed. Am I right, Tyler? And I think the strategy boils down to being worth so little gold that no one even focuses you in teamfights despite you being the ADC until you just passively die from getting stuck in random abilities. Meanwhile, their top laner is like the butterfly effect, has nothing on the Garen effect. You just build whatever you want and mash your keyboard like a drum set to collect LP. It's proven to work even in the presence of a bot Grand Canyon where the other team practically has an IV injecting them with gold all game, and by some divine intervention, call it the butterfly effect or what, he took home the win. Thanks for being a good sport, Ninja. If you watched this and made it this far, and to the rest of you, please politely piss on that subscribe button. Rav out.
Don't fuck with Ravy boy, I'm in your crib with the blappy boy. Talk to me slick and I'm popping your pappy. If happy talk back, then I'm taking your Grammy, and boy oh boy I'll make her happy.